Today, gentlemen, I've been honored to coach you. More honored to take you into the field of battle. But there's another honor that's been bestowed upon you. And that is the mantle that comes with that question. Who am I? I am a champion! That's right.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Definitely appreciate the support. I wanted to drop a video regarding split field coverages. I'm gonna get straight to the point, guys. If on a percentage scale I had to map out how often I play a split field coverage, it would probably be about 95% of the time when I call defensive play calls. So if you don't know what a split field coverage is, remember the sequence I went over in the pre-snap read video, 4-2-2-0-3-1. Okay, if you don't know what this is, maybe I'll leave a link for the pre-snap read video so you can get a detailed explanation on what this is. Okay, so I can't go over it here, but everything on the single high side is not a split field coverage. So cover 3 and cover 1, but everything over here is. So cover 4, cover 2 zone, cover 2 man. Cover 0 really isn't a double high safety defense, but I just put it here to make things easier. I go over this in another video. And what this means is if you split the field down the center, okay, a split field defense is a defense that the defensive play call on this side of the field is completely independent of what's called on this side of the field. Okay, so we could be running 2 zone on this side while running some type of cover 4 quarters on this side, and everything will work just fine, right? But you can't do that with cover 3 or cover 1. You can't run cover 3 zone on this side and cover 1 man on this side. Now you can, obviously, but you can run into a lot of problems for your defense, okay? And I'm telling you that there's a lot of things you can do with split field coverages on the creative side that you just cannot do on the single high side. So one of the benefits of single high, cover 3 and cover 1, is that you're able to add an additional defender in the box that the offense can't account for. So here we see we have 5 blockers, but the defense has 6 defenders in the box, right? So we leave 1 free in the box for the offense to have to deal with, okay? But one of the disadvantages of single high defense is there's a lot more potential to get exposed on the back end of the coverage, especially in certain formations. So if we were to get this guy over here and now the defense has to stress itself this way to account for that, I mean, this guy can get a lot of one-on-one opportunities. So, you know, that's why a lot of teams, when they play like trips formations and they get this guy over here, they put their best receiver on this side of the field because they know it'll open up a lot more one-on-one opportunities here, especially if you're going to play like single high, cover 1 man, and cover 3 zone stuff. Okay, so that's one of the disadvantages of single high. Now let me play it forward because I want to get straight to the point here. So we get a +1 in the box with single high here, right? So a little bit more stout in the run. Let me move forward. Now this is cover 4. Now when you play cover 4, I'm talking about match quarters. Okay, there's different types of quarters defenses in the game of Madden. You can play regular man match quarters or you can play palms. Now in real life, there's a lot of different things you can do with cover 4 type defenses that just isn't in Madden. So like Nick Saban, I think he calls it cover 7, and he has a play call because it's a split field coverage. He will call 2 different things. One for the strong side of the coverage. I don't know the terms, so let's just call it, you know, 7 ducky, and that will inform the defense what he wants done on the strong side of the defense. And he may have like another code word for what he wants done on the weak side of the defense. So essentially you're calling 2 defenses. Okay, now one strong benefit that I love about quarters coverage is, remember how we had a +1 in the box with single high? Okay, so now we remove that box player, and he's a safety in the back end of the coverage. So we actually get a +1 in the pass distribution. Okay, and I'll go over that soon. So we got 1, 2. You count from the outside in for your receivers. So we have 2 defenders over here, but the way it matches, we actually get a 2-on-3. So you see we get a +1 in the pass distribution over here. Okay, now over here we have 3 defenders, but we have 4. I mean, we have 3 offensive potential threats, but we have 4 defenders, right? So we have a +1 in the pass distribution on this side and on this side. Now you may say, well, what about the run? Aren't we, a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, or the user will see 5 in the box, right? And we have 5 blockers, so we're good to go, right? Well, that's not true, because the safeties are run-fit defenders. So it's kind of deceptive for the offense thinking that they have a clean box, when that's not true when it comes to the rules of the safeties. They are run-fit defenders. They're able to be extremely aggressive in the run. Okay, so let me play this real quick, and I want you to pay attention to this safety here. Post-snap. I'm going to snap the ball. Okay, look how he's sitting flat right at the snap of the ball. Look how he takes 2 steps forward. Ball gets handed off, and he's attacking downhill. Okay. Go to the replay. 2 steps. Look how he creeps. Attack downhill. Let's go. Right? So, in actuality, we don't have 5 in the box. This guy's contained on a run going this way. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We actually have 8 in the box when you run this way. Well, actually 7. 3, 4, 5. 3, 6, 7 when he runs this way, but we also have the contain going this way, and vice versa, right? So we do have an advantage in the box with this defense, and we have an advantage in the passing game. Okay, so now I flip to cover 2. Now that's just what cover 4. You got to remember that cover 2 zone does not provide an additional run support from the safeties, because they're the back end of the coverage. So you don't want these guys to be run conflict. You don't want them to be conflict players, right? So what you'll see, I'll do the same thing. You see the run fits, the safeties aren't involved. Now watch what happens at the snap of the ball. The same run. Snap the ball, and immediately they're in a back pedal, right? Because they have to widen and get depth and get to their landmarks. Okay, they can't be wrong. They can't be caught sitting flat while playing cover 2 deep half safety. And right at the mesh point, running backs getting the ball, they're still in their back pedal. And, it is now at this point, he's past the line of scrimmage, is where they're finally going to start attacking downhill. Okay, so you can see a major difference in cover 4 as opposed to cover 2 zone because of the run fits. Okay, they're not run fit defenders. Right? At this point in cover 4, the safety is already attacking downhill. Okay? It's one of the weaknesses of cover 2. Obviously you get a soft box in cover 2, and you can really get gashed with the run. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to go over really quickly the rules of match coverage against a 2x2 set. Now you can go to a lot of different YouTube channels where guys go over this. Okay, so I don't really have to go over this, but I decided to go over this because I want to show you some creative things you can do with cover 4 eventually. So right now, maybe I should go back. This safety, his rules, okay, in a 2x2 set, obviously he's going to read for the run first, right? Like we saw, if it's a run, he's sitting flat. Second he confirms it's a run, then he, plays his run fit. If it's not a run, he gets his eyes on number 2. If 2 goes vertical, he takes him man to man, which is what we should see here, because I believe I have him going on a route, and as you see, he takes him. Okay, a vertical route in this game is anything ran above linebacker depth, so about 6 to 7 yards. So he takes him man to man, as we see. So remember, he's reading run first, then his next read is the number 2 in this formation. And if 2 goes vertical, the process stops there. He's man to man with number 2. Let's go ahead and watch that. Is it a run? No. Okay, get my eyes on number 2. Is 2 vertical? Yes. Okay, man him up. Okay. Now, what happens if 2 doesn't go vertical? So again, read run first, then look at 2. Does 2 go vertical? If 2 doesn't go vertical, then he looks for number 1. He's looking to rob a post, a dig, or a curl from this player. So let's go ahead and play it. Okay, 2 is not vertical. Look for number 1. And as you see, takes away that inside post right there. So there's really no need for this replay, but I'll show it again. 2 goes inside. So it's not his job anymore. Just do your job. And inside of the post of 2. Okay, now this corner out here, so we're good with him. This corner out here is reading 1 to 2. Okay. Is 1 vertical? If yes, man him up. 1 is vertical, so he takes him. Now, is 1 vertical? If yes, take him. If no, then get your eyes on number 2 and look to bracket number 2. So that's what we should see here. Is 1 vertical? No. Okay, get your eyes on number 2, and as you see, number 2 is bracketed because number 2 is vertical, and the safety is reading it is 2 vertical as well. So this is the beauty of quarters coverage. Again, we get a 3-on-2 deal over here, and you get a lot of double teams and certain route combinations. Quarters man match is an adaptive defense. That's why I love match coverages. Okay. I'm not a big fan of spot drop at all. I almost never play spot drop for a lot of reasons. Now I will play spot drop if I'm playing against a guy who does something like this. Okay, and maybe I'll make a video on that. Not even this. So you see the problem with a scheme like this? Nobody is getting overloaded in zones, right? So you can get away with playing like spot drop cover 2 against something like this, and you can give a guy a lot of problems. So if you notice someone having they don't really have structure and route combinations and stuff, then you can get away with spot drop coverage, right? Because no one's getting overloaded. So now let's look at the quarter flat player. So we know what he's doing, we know what he's doing. And because we know what these guys are doing, you know what these guys are doing, because it's just the same thing on both sides. Okay, the quarter flat is a match 2 player. So first and foremost, he has a run fit. So he's reading run first as well. Is it a run? Wrong clip. Is it a run? Yes, it is. So fit your run's responsibility. Okay. Here's the right clip. Snap the ball. Is that a run? No. Okay. You're matching 2 if he goes out. Does 2 go out? Yes, he does. So that's your man no matter what. So if 2 were to go out and then turn up, 2 has him no matter what. I mean, a quarter flat has him no matter what. So once he goes out, that's it. He's yours. Right? You bought him, you keep him. Now if 2 goes in, okay, he squeezes it, and he's cognizant of, I hope I used that word right, of a back leaking out of the flat and becoming the new number 2. Now what do I mean by the new number 2? Let me back up. 1, 2, 1, 2. Always count outside in. Okay. When this guy goes in, this back flares out, everything is relative. Okay, so you were the number 2 until you cross path with this back. So if we recount it again, you're still the number 1 up the field, right? But you're the new number 2. Actually, at this point right here, he's the new number 2. And this guy becomes the 3 because you count from outside in the play. Okay? So he's going to squeeze this route, and if this guy leaks out of the flat and overtakes, well, this is the new number 2 now. So he'll squeeze that route, what he should do, and then, you know, cognizant of a guy coming out of the backfield, and then he's got to match that back coming out. Okay? So that's what he does. Now, one thing I didn't do in this video is really go over the 3 receiver player, but as you can imagine, he has run fits, this guy here. So we know his ordeal, we know his. That would mean we know his, and his as well. So it's not that really hard to kind of know the rules of what everyone's supposed to do against this particular formation. Now, obviously, things change when you know, they go into different formations, but you know, you got to start off small if you don't know how this stuff works, and learn it from a basic formation, a 2x2 set. And I guarantee you, if you start running this, start picking different players in the defense, and just, you know what he's supposed to do. You know what route distribution dictates what you're supposed to do as a specific player in the defense. Now, the 3 receiver hook player really just mirrors the number 3. Okay, so think about that. Let's see what he does in that route combination there. Well, right there, I mean, that was a good one right there. Look at this. I believe he goes out and someone comes in, right? 1, 2, 3. However, when 2 gets here and 3 gets there, you're the new number 3 and you're the new number 2. So he takes the 3, but now he has a new number 3, so he should take that. I think it's called match, carry, deliver, right? So you match a particular route and you carry him, and then you deliver him off to someone else. Just think about it. This guy goes this way, it goes this way. 1, 2, 3. And now you become the new number 3, and you are the new number 2, and this guy is responsible for the 2, right? Like we just went over on this side. So, you know, he would squeeze on this route, cognizant of this guy leaking out to be the new number 2, and then he's got to take that route. And it's okay for him to take that route because the number 3, who was matching the 3, takes this route, right? And the beauty of that is, if everyone does everything right, you don't get out leveraged, right? Out leverage would be, I'm here, you're here, right? So wide receiver has inside leverage, right? And if we had to chase this guy down the field, that's a problem. Well, instead of me chasing him, I just hand him off to you, and you have leverage on that route, right? You can overtake that route. And it's the same thing with this coming out this way. Now, obviously, it's probably really hard to do in real time to always match right at the right time. So that's what happens. He goes out, 2 ends up taking him, he's got to take the 3. I don't know why he turned that way, but, you know, again, that could be rating. Because Madden doesn't give us any, they don't provide really transparency in how they code stuff. You don't know if that's the bad coding of the game. You don't know if it's coded right and it's just his rating. You know, they just leave you in the dark. And I think they really do that because if they were transparent in how they have things coded, people will spot areas where, hey man, that's wrong, that's not how it's done in real life and stuff like that. And they would get a lot of egg on their face. You know, I may have things wrong here, right? So I'm just giving you what I know and what I'm pretty sure about, okay? But I'm not afraid of being wrong or, you know, being told, hey, you know that's wrong, and hey, I want to learn, right? You know what I mean? So just be aware, just because someone does something wrong in a coverage it doesn't necessarily mean that it's coded wrong. It might be because the player is just, you know, ass or bad or whatever, you know. But again, I guess the only way you can really figure that out is if you put in like a 99 player, right, and see what he does, or a perfect player and see what he does. And if he does it wrong, then okay, that's probably because it's coded wrong, right? Okay, so let's see what I had after this. Okay, so now I'm going to show you gameplay footage. Now I want to show you where you can be creative with this, right? So obviously he doesn't know what I'm doing. So I do a lot of stuff, okay? So that was regular quarters coverage. Right now I'm in palms. Palms plays a little bit different, but it still matches and it's still a split field coverage, okay? So in palms, I'm going to have to make a video on palms. See how I bring the safety in? Okay, I mug the line of scrimmage with this guy, and it just makes people nervous because he doesn't know if he's coming, right? You add a whole element to your game by doing stuff like this. Because now, think about his plate as a quarterback. Okay, I'm going to snap the ball. I'm going to look for number 85. And then I'm going to look for, you know, the user. Where's the user? You know, and then I'm going to look, if that's not open, because of the user, I go to number 62. Okay, it's just an example. As opposed to me doing this. Okay, now, post snap. Is it a blitz? Okay, it's not a blitz. So now I'll look for number 85. Right? And look how we just added a whole nother step to this process. Okay. Then look for 62. We added an extra step in his thinking process. Adding another step slows down, you know, his execution, right? So he's got to think of one step. It's like a computer program or coding. It's the same thing. Your brain is a computer, right? Because I've been looking at, you know, how coding works. I've been thinking about going into computer engineering and all that stuff. But anyways, they always want you to shrink the code down, I guess, to make it more optimal, more efficient, if you can, instead of having all these lines of code, right? Well, if we can add lines of code for the opponent to have to go through post snap, that's a win for us, right? So is it a blitz or is it not a blitz? Step one. Actually, step two would be post snap. Okay, it's not a blitz. Now go to step three. Look for 85, right? So I play with them even more. I'll do that. And without moving anybody else, I will go to over here, right? So now when you snap the ball, okay, it's not a blitz, but hey, this isn't the user either. Where's the user? Oh, he's over here, right? Okay, now they're looking for where they gotta go, but then we're playing match behind it, right? Can be very confusing for opponents, and as you see here, there's just nowhere to go. Okay, so let's look at the route combination he had. What was it? 2 drags? Yeah, 2 drags, a go, and that. Let's go back. So he stays in the block with the play action. Doing this, also have guys doing that. Some people will respond in a way to where they'll keep their back in the block in fear of this coming. And that's a win for you as well, right? Because now you don't have 5 people out in the routes. You have 4. Okay? And that you need to back out into a route to kind of influence different zones to open up things for other players, right? But if we can keep you in the block because you're so scared of a blitz, that's a win for us, right? So think about, you got a post out here. So I don't know what this safety is doing. He should double this, right? Just remember, he's reading 2 to 1. Is 2 vertical? No, it looks like he's on a slant. But maybe the depth of the slant determined that I have to take that route, okay? This corner was reading 1 to 2. He goes out, so he takes them, okay? But what's real important is the quarter flats on both sides. I'm the quarter flat. I know I have to take the number 2, right? If 2 goes out. But he doesn't. He goes in. So I squeeze the route until I get a new number 2. And watch how I see that he's coming, so I just overtake the route. So you can't throw it. right? Oh, look at our safety. What a bad job. Oh, hey, he's not vertical. Never mind. Let me go and play in the, you know, whatever. And then our guy swinging across this way is running into this quarter flat, who should take him, right? So let's watch that. He has nowhere to go, right? And then our safety on this side, remember, he reads 1 to 2. Is 2 vertical? No, because he went inside. So now he looks for 1. Is 1 running a post, dig, or curl, or something inside? No. In that case, when everything checks out no, then he just zones out, right? Maybe pick up a crosser, etc. If this guy takes an outside release or goes straight up field, then this guy just takes him. And I like that because, you know, the sideline is your help. You know, you're good to go on that side. There's no need for him to try to double team that. You know, he should be good here, and he is. He has nowhere to go, and he gets sacked. Now, that's, I mean, there's more creativity to it. So I'll end the video with this, but you could be playing quarters on this side, cover 2 on this side. That's the beauty of split field. You could be playing quarters on this side, man on this side. You could be playing quarters on this side and a blitz on this side, right? What if you bring a 5-man pressure and you man these guys up? Well, wouldn't this break down the defense on this side? No, because it's a split field coverage. We don't care what's going on this side. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. I know whoever comes from this side, I'm not responsible for it on this side. So you can be extremely creative, right? There's things you can do with the safety. What about walking the safety down, mugging him here, okay? Bringing this guy over, blitzing him from this side, and then manning the tight end, and this guy just mans this guy, right? Or you can man him up here, bring this corner inside, apexing these 2 guys at the line of scrimmage, and just widen the safety out a bit to make it seem like a corner's coming on a blitz. And then he snaps the ball, and no, we are actually bracketing this guy, and this guy's manned up. Okay, I can go on and on and on, okay, and I do all types of stuff on these guys, and I'm going to show you eventually under the subscription model how you can bring 5 guys on a rush and get a free rusher, right? So that's the benefit of cover 0. The strength of cover 0 is when we bring cover 0, someone's coming scot-free. There's nothing you can do about it. If you block him, we can green dog it and bring a 7th, so he comes scot-free. But that's not what you really want to do all day. You don't want to live in cover 0 because you are weak in the back end. It's just one-on-one with no help. Well, what if I were to tell you there's a way to get a free rusher, only bringing 5 players, and then we got 6 defending on the back end, and we are matching coverage, right? So that's where you want to be. But obviously you can't do that if you're not playing match in the first place. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. I hope you guys got some insight in this video. Hopefully it's not too long, and I hope you keep coming back, man. Peace.